Happy Tuesday, everybody. Stratton Mortgage back here again, season 1, episode 8. It's 8 episodes. It's really funny.
Ocho.
Yeah.
Flying.
The weather's starting to break. Starting to get a little bit of spring fever. I'm sure everybody's got spring fever kicking in. Just let us into our discussion with what we're going to talk about today. It just kind of keeping everybody in the loop with all the events that Columbus has to offer. Really enjoy those events if you're trying to buy a house. We were all talking, like, last thing somebody wants to do is sit there, watch the football game and get whacked in the head with a football because you're trying to find your W-2 on your phone. So, with that all said, start the introductions. I'm Tom Christie.
Bill Seach.
Trey Reedy.
Adam Baumline.
So just to kind of lead off into this, again, just to keep everybody up to date with the Columbus's current events, what do you guys have? What have you seen kind of going on? We obviously know the NCAA tournament's here this weekend.
That's sweet. North Carolina's place here, right?
The Nationwide Boulevard now, I was at the Kiss concert last weekend, which was really cool, by the way. Right underneath that, you got the March Madness Boulevard sign up down there.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
That's sweet. I didn't
downtown
notice
is
that.
getting geared up for this NCAA tournament.
Adam got a suite for that, right?
Yeah. I refinanced my house. That's the loan we're talking about this week. Cash out.
but talking with Adam, he made a great point about this. Saying everybody wants to be outside if that spring fever is kicking in, but people also want to buy homes, and he just made a good point. Like, don't lose some time being able to enjoy the weather and what all Columbus has to offer when. You could start this process now and get us working for you so that you can enjoy your weekends.
Yeah, we've gotten how many people today called in, starting the process, getting ready to go. We're going to give a bunch of different events here coming up over the next 30, 60 days. If you're looking to buy in the spring or the summer, you really need to be talking to us now. So we can get prepared and you're not missing that event. What if all your friends are going to spring game, or, if the Blue Jackets make the playoffs, you're going to a playoff game, you're sitting at home digging through your paperwork, trying to find a bank statement,
Not to mention the bidding war. That house we went and saw in Hilliard, put a sign in the yard, and it was sold in the next hour. So
yeah.
That was crazy.
You got to be ready to go. It's critical, especially in this market.
And what you just said, Bill, I have a client that's moving up here from West Virginia. Spoke to her today for the first time. She has no idea what this market is like. Drove up here last weekend, looked at 2 properties she really loved. She looked at 3. 2 of them they really loved. By the time they got back home to West Virginia, both the properties they loved in contract. Yeah. So she's immediately like, what do we do? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to help you get ready for this.
Was the TBD purchase?
Yeah, exactly. People are starting to do the research, which is great. Try to find out how to make this process simpler and quicker for herself. Again, moving across state with a family, and then job changes. Now trying to get a house. Who wants to pick up an extra 20 hours of work trying to help get a loan done when they don't need to?
Yeah.
So exactly, a TBD. That way, if she comes to Columbus, her loan has been underwritten with income, and now if there's multiple offers, I'd be willing to bet anything that it's very likely that she would be the only one that has probably had her income absolutely reviewed by an underwriter, which is going to give her a leg up. I mean, what listing agent's not going to want to, well, this person's already income's cleared. Now we just got to get the appraisal, but everybody else does.
Just before we started, I had the guys they're getting ready to list in 2 weeks, fixing up their home. They're going to start looking. And I said, well, listen, and he has to put in a contingent offer because he needs the money from the sale for the down payment. I said, well, listen, this is seller's market. We need to get you that full underwrite with your credit, income, and assets, everything done. So, number one, the big thing, obviously, is the sellers and the listing agent are going to know. And we can't guarantee it's going to win the bid, but it can at least put you at the top, right? Yeah. And number two, they're selling and buying at the same time in this market, which is stress. That's going to be stressful. Yeah. They got children, they got animals. That's a lot going on in 30 days. On top of trying to go around the paperwork and trying to go to one of these events. Come on. I mean, that's just it's too much stress.
With the right people and the right team, it doesn't need to be stressful. And that's where a lot of people are like, it's crazy. A lot of first-time home buyers look at, man, I really thought this was going to be a tough process. I even looked at my agent wondering, like, is there nothing else for me to do? was that easy. Again, because of preparation. I know we've hit that on almost every episode, but I don't even know how you can stress the importance of that.
You can't stress it enough. Yeah.
It's a complete game changer for you in the process. This is supposed to be exciting and fun. I mean, this is the biggest asset you're going to buy. Enjoy
and getting
the
done
process.
early if we can too. Like the one I got closed tomorrow was done a week and a half early, so they're ready to go. Wire's already done. Called them today, go over all the final numbers, getting ready to go meet them. They're closing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. up in Marysville. Super happy, but they're ready to go. Everything was done, and they were super appreciative. And they sold and bought a new home. Now it wasn't contingent, but still, there's a lot of stuff going on. So they were super appreciative of being prepared. And we actually spoke to them in November.
Yeah.
So that was 4 or 5 months ago almost now, where, okay, here's what you need to do. Let's make sure you're ready. Okay, great. We're going to get our home ready to list. We're going to list in, February, sell the home, which they did. But because they were prepared, easy. Fly right through. No problems. No hiccups. No anything like that. So it definitely makes a huge difference.
It's the old adage, the horse has to pull the cart. I mean, I've never seen a cart pulling a horse. I don't think we'd want to.
Downhill.
Yeah.
If it's a heavy cart, downhill. Backwards.
But so you should be talking to your loan officer to make sure that you're looking at properties that you can afford. If you're trying to buy a $200,000 house, why are you looking at $600,000? You're just wasting your own time and creating more stress in the process. It doesn't need to be.
We're running payments for them, or Trey's following up with them. Hey, you got any questions? Whatever, kind of managing that process. So they've got multiple points of contact within our company to reach out to where if they need an answer, they can get it.
Yeah. And that's what you just said. That's been a big deal that I've found is people looking online and, hey, here's an address. I like Tom. And they send me a text. I'm able to run payments, look those taxes up, and give them a really good rough idea of what their payment's going to be. And they know, hey, this house is worth that for that payment.
And that made me just think, because we're just talking last night, we left that event. So Tom has a buyer where they were pre-qualified with a major bank, and they egregiously lowballed the homeowner's insurance quote. So their payment looked lower, and there was no way. I mean, there's just no way that was ever going to happen.
No.
We're not going to do that. If anything, we're going to try and give you a worst case scenario on the insurance, because the lender doesn't know.
Yeah.
We don't know if you've had a foreclosure before, or you had a fire or something where your insurance premiums might be higher. We don't know.
Yeah.
We can't see that. So we're going to try and go worst case scenario, because that's the only piece we don't know. Like you said, we can look up taxes, we can see the list price, we know what your rate is, but you're getting a payment from us within $15, maybe $20.
It's very close. It's a negligible difference, if not right on. It really is, and that's again just transparency with our clients. To your exact point, that PNC, and they just weren't telling these clients anything, and they're first-time home buyers. They're confused. Yeah. And just 5 minutes on the phone, I was able to spill out more information than they've heard the entire process. And that's not right. That should not be that way. And this, again, their first house, their biggest investment. And they're sitting here wondering, what is going on? What am I paying for right now?
Exactly.
We also got that cool little app we can put right on their phone when they're looking at houses.
Yep, they can download the cell phone app, which is nice because they can run the payments right on there. If they save it, we can see it. Right. So then we can go in and check it or double check it or whatever. Or if we're not available or whatever, they can run the payment. And we've already had the discussion of, hey, this is how much you should be using for your insurance premium as an estimate, and we reiterate that, hey, we don't know, we have to guess, but hopefully it's worst case scenario. But 9 times out of 10, our payment's higher. We're telling them a higher cash to closing than what it actually is because we're overestimating. So they're bringing less money, their payment's lower.
Yeah, who wants to work backwards? It's as if you go to a closing and everything just got cheaper. That would be a better closing than trying to figure out why did everything just go up on me a week before I'm supposed to close. And all the cards are on the table now when they should have been on the table in the very beginning.
It's like one of those, you ever see that sports video where the guy squirts a water bottle and the cap's not on? the whole thing hits him in the face. Shouldn't be that way. Cap should be on. Should be nice and prepared. So let's go over some of the events that are coming up. Obviously, the Blue Jackets are making a playoff push. They've actually got a game, I believe, tonight against the Flames, playing Thursday against the Oilers, and then a couple games next week. So they're right there in the hunt. Some big games coming up. So
the spring game's coming around, isn't it?
Yeah, Ohio State spring game's coming up.
Spring game in April. We got the Clippers will be having opening day here.
Those
very
Clippers,
soon too.
you've got those. It's going to be nice
Soccer's already
outside.
started.
They got some of the day game, what do you call the businessmen special games or whatever. Probably got to see one of those is coming up. But I mean, that right there alone. I mean, there's 10, 15 events at least right there coming up in the next 30 to 45 days. Not even that you might be attending or might want to go to, and that's going to take you away from doing other stuff to get ready. So you've got those events. You
got all your kids' baseball and soccer games coming around.
Yeah.
I mean, the point is, get started if you're going to start buying a house. Get your stuff together and let's get going. Get you ready.
Because everybody has the same train of thought is, well, let's wait for this weather to break. And if you're thinking that way, so is everybody else in Columbus. I mean, again, it's already starting to show the number of offers that we're seeing.
March Madness this weekend. Yeah. You got 4 days, right? Everybody's, taking off work and going to meet their friends and doing whatever, watching basketball all weekend. And, you don't want to be the person who's looking for a home, not prepared, watching basketball. And guess what? Murphy's Law, that home that you like is going to pop up on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be ready, and your realtor's not going to be able to put it on, and everybody's going to be, scrambling around.
Yeah, it really is. And again, it's easy to talk about it, but until somebody actually experiences it, you don't want to look back, man, I wish I would have. I wish I would have bought in Google years ago, or even Bitcoin for that matter.
Yeah.
So you can be proactive, and you don't have to do it by yourself. That's the thing. We're here to do this for you. It's literally 15 minutes with us could change hours and mindset in a day for you, and being able to enjoy what we just discussed, all these things that are happening just these next 30 to 45 days.
Yeah, I mean, the online application doesn't take more than 10 minutes. Yeah, it's super easy.
You're typing in your address and your name.
And you can do it on your phone. You can do it on a tablet. You can, if you're in front of a computer, great. But it's all mobile optimized or device optimized. Super easy. Can get started. We can see when you start it. If you have a problem, you can send us an instant message.
Yeah. And if you don't want to, if you're having trouble figuring it out, call us. I mean, I'm fine. If it's
we
Saturday,
can log in with you and do a screen share and walk you through it. I've never had anybody actually have to do that, but the point of it is,
it's there. It's not.
It's there, in case something like that would come up. So that's huge.
You're talking about the app on the website, correct?
Yeah, like if you go to StrattonMortgage.com, depending on who you're applying with Bill, you go look up Bill Siege, do his apply now, or Tom, or me, whoever, Trey.
For the viewers, they don't know.
Yeah, so if you go on there, it's very, very easy to do, very user friendly. You can do it. Hey, maybe you're going to watch the games, Friday afternoon. Go pop on there real quick Friday morning. It takes 10 minutes.
And you get to see your pretty picture.
Yeah. I need to update that thing, man.
I took mine by a Christmas tree. Christmas is 3 months ago, so maybe I should update mine too. But,
you can go stand out in the woods.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. If you do hear any birds on the podcast, we got the doors open. You're hearing nature. They're not inside. We're not.
And something else that we'd like to try to figure out is, the people that are listening on this, if there's a particular subject or something you would like us to maybe touch on, again, go into our Facebook page, drop a message in there. Hey, guys, maybe, talk about this on your next podcast. We're open. We're here to try to, again, help people. But let us know what you want to hear about, what you want us to discuss, and we'll take that. We'll even put your name out there. Hey, so-and-so wanted to hear about this. So again, we're just whatever we can do to try to help keep this process simple. We all are passionate and love what we do. It's why we've all been together as long as we have. And again, when you can deliver something and make life that much easier to obtain that big asset, that's a very gratifying feeling just for us.
Yeah, and rates are still good.
Rates are really good.
And one of our reps came in today, and obviously nobody has the crystal ball, but it made it sound like the feds they're not talking about not increasing rates, but they're not really talking about increasing rates, and they want to keep the inflation right at 2%. Mm-hmm. So they don't want any major right now. They're kind of not totally letting go. So, I mean, they're still good. I mean, our conventional loans are in the low 4s. Depending on the day, some of the government loans are in the high 3s, low 4s on 30-year fixed rate loans. That's pretty good. I mean,
I did lock a one in at 3.5 on a government loan.
There you go.
And that's the refis are coming back because people that have owned their homes for 2 years, they have equity in that property now, and there's ways to go from 28 years to 25 year. Beginning rates being so low,
and that's not a rate buy down. So the APR is like what, 3.6 or something, 3 point. I mean, it's not. That's not like a 2-point buy down or something that you see advertised at a bank disclosure or a major online lender disclosure where you're paying points to do that. You're not doing that here because it's the wholesale side of the market. So you can definitely obtain better terms, which could, if as prices are going up, you might need that. That difference in the rate might get your payment to where it needs to be, or that difference without that cost. Now you have the cash already to purchase, and the guys on the phone with it. I don't really have the 20%. You don't need the 20% down. That's
to your point.
We've talked about that before.
I think just as important as closing a loan by the contract date is the structuring of a loan. I mean that is as much as of importance as it is getting that thing closed on time or early. Because there's more to this than here's a 30-year fix, and that's where I notice a lot of people drop the ball. Is they just I just want to have a fixed rate, and there's nothing else. There's more to it, but no one else wants to take that time to go over that with people and explain. Here's how we should put this together, because this will put you in a better situation.
And it might be you don't have to put as much money down, and your debt to income ratio is okay, and you might still be. One of the things we ask is what are you comfortable with in paying, right? Like it's not just. Okay, well, the system says yes, so you're approved, because and it's tightened up a little bit, but still, you can probably, a lot of people we talk to is more than what they want to pay. So we got to mash that up. We got to find out where we're at. That's part of that preparation stage. Yeah. Then you're looking at the right price range. You go look at $1 million home, I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty nice for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
Are you going to want to make that payment, or can you afford it? Maybe not. Even if you have the income to do it, maybe you only want a $700,000. Well, we need to know that, because as you go up in price, of course, the higher the price gets, the more amenities and whatever the home has, it's not going to be the same as the lower price. It's just not. You know.
That's the reality of it.
And you got to be looking in the right price range. You look at a brand new Corvette. It's pretty nice.
I like those a lot.
Yeah, and you leave with a Chevy Cobalt.
You prefer the price of the Cobalt.
Yeah. My eyeballs want the Corvette, but my checkbook wants the Cobalt. What do we do?
It's a beer budget champagne taste.
Yeah. You just got to make sure you're looking at the right stuff.
So speaking of just that popped up a question in my mind, Tom. How's that renovation thing going? Didn't you have a renovation loan you were doing?
Yeah,
it's done.
Trying to
Is it done?
Getting that. Well, not yet. It's hopefully Friday.
Okay.
Back to the restructuring. I mean, this had a client that changed their job. Instead of me just simply going, oh, well, now let's put more money down, I took all the time and refigured that loan to keep their payment or their down payment rather the same. And again, the easy way out for me would have been just increase their down payment, and you either do it or you don't. But that's not my job.
Right.
So. I was throwing a curveball, and I had to figure out a way to hit that thing and deliver with what we talked about. And again, without taking the easy way out, that's just not. I need that. I want them to talk about me about their experience. That even though they changed things on me, I still delivered what we talked about.
And kind of coincide with the renovation is we went to a seminar last night on I would say a pretty successful home rehabber, investor, wholesaler last night, and there was about 50 people there, that are either at varying stages of that industry. We now have loan programs for them too, to purchase, to rehab, to fix and flip. Those programs are available not only for those people, but I don't want to say it sounds like general public's different, but those loans are out there for everybody to be able to access.
Yeah, they've had that experience with doing something like that. So to your point is like,
but if one of them's listening, or we do another podcast on that, we have programs for that, and we're going to start hopefully attending more of those, types of events.
And just getting out there and meeting more people is something that we all enjoy doing, and you just again, as many years we've all been in this, we still are learning. It's.
What always changes.
And you have to stay on your toes, because just what Fannie Mae just changed their system a few weeks ago, like you just said.
And for FHA, so they tightened up. I think it's below 620. So, with the government loans, if you have a lower credit score, it's not going to be as lenient as it was before. I haven't seen it personally yet on some of the loans. Just maybe it's luck, but we were talking to some other brokers and things like that at other areas. If there's only one borrower on the loan, it was a little bit tighter, to higher debt to income ratio, even with a really good credit score. And so that can lead to maybe you're not using someone's income on a loan, right? Maybe they've only been self-employed for a year, and you can't use their income, or they haven't been receiving commission long enough. I mean, you guys know there are circumstances where you've got both people on loan. The true income of what they're bringing in is not what they're using to qualify, and so the debt to income ratio is higher. Or if maybe they're self-employed and don't show as much income, now you're pushing that debt to income ratio up. We'll see, but it seems like it's making a difference. There's other things that come into play in terms of assets and reserves and things like that. Again, I'm going back to, if we're talking to you before, we can help you prepare.
Structuring the loan the right way to ensure that
you've got the money in your account months before. You know how much money you need to have to be able to be where you can be. And some things we can estimate. We can move around reserves. We can move around income. Credit reports, obviously we can't estimate that. I have to use the report that we have. But we can help you plan and prepare so that you're where you need to be.
Yeah, and again, if you go into contract, you want to know that you're very likely going to be able to get closed on that. And it's something that may be out of control that might keep that thing from closing, but 99.9% of the time, if they go into contract, we're getting them closed. I mean,
very rarely does it not close, and that
we're not going to waste our time or your time. Like, you want to let's get it, make sure it's going to work, and that way you can go into contract with confidence, knowing all right, let's just get our ducks in a row and get ready to close.
And it's pretty rare. I mean, everybody's had it. It's rare for us, but we've had it. There's nothing worse than going through the process in the contract and not issuing approval. Something comes up during the process, or something happened. But
again,
that's the worst. And that comes down to prepreration. Really, it does.
I was just going to say that's the preparation is letting people know, don't go buy your furniture before you get in your house.
Just close
on your loan, then do what you want after that.
Yeah, you can walk across the street.
Don't pull up in that brand new Corvette either to close on your loan.
No,
because that's not going to be a good sign.
Well, it also works to their advantage too. If they think, I can only buy a $200,000 house, well, then you do their income, and next thing you know, you can probably get about 280. That's a totally different level of house.
Well, they might not. They don't know what they're not factoring in, and then you say, "Well, what are you comfortable in paying?" Hey, Bill, I'm comfortable paying $2,200 a month. Okay, well, you can afford a lot more,
right?
Than what we were originally, looking at. Give them the payment, give them the term, whatever, depending on where they're looking. So, it goes the other way too. Yeah. Could be more.
And that just happened with me, a referral. The guy had thought, 250 was going to be about his max, and it ended up being 300. And he was like, whoa, I had no idea. I'm like, and that's actually kind of underdoing it.
Right.
He's not, just because you do that pre-approval doesn't mean where you need to buy, but it just makes that loan process that much easier. And I have found more and more people are not trying to push that DTI as much, or still few.
Yeah, most of mine are.
People are kind of
nice. They're conservative. They're low.
Don't let the house own you.
Keep
your freedom to enjoy those events when you want to go out and do those things.
You don't want to be house poor. That's for sure.
The house owns you is not ever a good thing to be into.
Well, I've got some other current events that are happening this week and this weekend. Starting today up to Sunday. The Palace Theater will have the 20th anniversary of the Broadway musical Rent.
Nice. That's sweet.
I think Tony might be going to that.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
The Ohio Theater actually starting Saturday, and I don't know how long they're going to do it. I think it might be just the one-time thing for Saturday, but Jurassic Park is the 25th anniversary of the original movie, and they'll actually be projecting the movie in HD with a full symphony orchestra to do the score of the movie as it's.
Your boy would like that.
Yeah. Seriously. Well, yeah, but he probably scared the crap out of him when the Tyrannosaurus comes through the thing. But.
My nephew's the same way. Knows every dinosaur.
Yeah.
I mean, he's young.
Yeah. Scare
him. What was that act, Trey? That Jurassic? That's
the Ohio Theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
How much what's the Broadway thing cost to get in? Anybody know?
That I do not.
That's probably expensive.
Yeah.
Broadway shows.
Yeah, because it's but that's what the 20th. What do you say? 20th
anniversary. Yeah. It's not Hamilton.
Well, yeah,
Which,
it's like
deal.
Those tickets are pretty much sold out. But
Nice.
So
Cool.
Well,
What else we got?
I think that might be it for the week. Today, we just want to touch on some current events.
Yeah, I think, again, if anybody listening out there would like us to touch on a particular subject or something, a hurdle you may have run into with trying to buy a home or anything, that, just put a message in our Facebook. We'll see what you're looking to get answers to, and we'll discuss it next week.
yeah,
Yeah.
to add,
I actually have a hurdle to talk about. I have a girl right now who had, when she was 18 years old, rented an apartment with a guy. The guy moved out, and this collection for $5,000 ends up on her credit 5 years later. Okay, so the way Fannie and Freddie look at it is they use 5% of the balance if it's in collection status. So the payment's $253. Well, the collection agency won't give me a payment plan, which normally they will. For some reason, they won't give me a payment plan unless she pays half of it up front, $2,500, which was her down payment for the house. So now,
you can't. Yeah.
so now I'm at a catch-22. I'm kind of stuck about that. It's just, have you ever ran into that? Either one of you guys?
I have not.
Trey? No?
they can't deny, or they can't not accept a payment. So even if she's sending them $20 a month, that's going to be considered a payment.
Right, but what I need to do for the debt ratio is need to get something in writing saying what that payment is.
Yeah, they won't give the letter. They're going to play hardball and say,
Right.
Well, you
Give them
can
what
always
they want first, and then they'll do it.
you can always try to settle with the original debtor, and then cut out the collection agency.
Okay.
And in which case they have to terminate, and you can usually settle with the original debtor for
Pennies
what
on
they
the dollar.
originally owed,
Yeah.
not including all the fees and everything that was added in from the collection agency, because they have to make some money and they buy it for a certain price from the original debtor. So
Okay.
you want to kind of circumvent that and go back to the original one and pay them for maybe what you originally owed, maybe a little bit more depending on if they want to take that.
$5,000.
Yeah.
What they take out of all the walls
They charge her for every month.
and the carpet? I mean, do they come into studs?
Right. Yeah. So a 12-month lease. They
Where's
charge
the
her for
drywall
every
and the
month.
carpet? $5,000. I mean, that's crazy.
Right.
That's
But
a lot.
But that's $250 into a debt ratio that's
It's already
already
first time
close.
home buyers kind of you don't want to
right.
and that right there's a situation where as that debt to income ratio tightens, what if she was good but now moved in the higher level and now she doesn't qualify?
That's exactly
what
it.
I mean?
That's exactly it.
So because
Yeah.
of some changes
Yeah.
in the way that they have to look at things, that's where planning, a lot of this stuff we can fix, but if you can get out of it ahead of time, then she's not, or he or she's not stressed out or whatever, I mean, it can make a big difference.
It all reverts back to the preparation thing. If you know you got something on there, get that agreement ahead of time. A payment plan works. It can be $50 a month. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It still works. $250 a month doesn't work.
It does not work.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, your plan is at least get that thing established.
something, right. Don't just leave it there, because if you just leave it there,
It'll sit.
it's going to haunt you.
Yeah.
I mean, it said, like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's years before anything like that would fall off, and that's
Well, and then you know what? The only time it haunts you is when you're really trying to do something big.
yeah.
This or a car.
You're trying
Right.
to go find us like a microwave or something. No problem. But
They finance those?
Yeah, Best Buy.
For you could have one.
It's a nice microwave, man. It does a
Low
lot of
monthly
stuff.
payment of $29.95. But if you buy now, we'll knock off the last payment.
Yeah. Save me $20. $50 in interest. Take away a $20 payment.
All right.
Anyways.
Cool.
I also wanted to add something. If you have a question, you put it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit. Hashtag it Ask Stratton. We'll do a search every week and find those questions no matter where they're at, just using that hashtag, and then we'll try to address them then.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. We're going to go enjoy the sun.
All right.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Have a great week.